Yes. So we are live now, Catherine. We are live. Good to see you.
Oh, thank you. Good to see you too. Thank you,
Oh,
Francis.
it's been a while, hasn't it? It's really been a while since I saw you back home like this because you've been away for some time, haven't you?
Yeah,
Mm,
5 days, two, three, four. Yeah, five. Say 6 days. Yeah.
mm,
Um,
mm.
yeah, and um, I did. The weather was in my favor, but I quite like it up on the northern rivers. But you know
Yes.
what it's like. Because when we did our live the other day, it was so I
Was
was
when was
just.
that? Was
That
it
was Saturday morning.
Saturday morning we did, yeah, yours, and
Yeah.
then Saturday
Yeah.
night mine. Yeah,
That's
is
right. That's right.
yeah,
So
and
yeah, I just felt distracted and out of my space. So
mm,
I was
mm,
looking forward to today.
yes, indeed, good to see. And Stedman
Oh,
was
good
missing in
morning.
action. Was missing in
Yeah.
action, isn't it? The other day,
Yes, yeah, we
uh,
missed you.
we missed you, Stedman, and she's here
Yeah.
today. Good
Nice.
morning, good evening, everyone that is watching us wherever you are. Good to see you on this Royal News Live. And good to have you, Catherine, with us here. Chantel is here as well. The A team is starting to come back in. So, yes, Stedman, you missed that live the other day. We are now monetized. So, thank you for your support. You missed out. Chantel Martin knows that, I think, yes. So we are now monetized. So we can have those memberships. We can have any support that, without having to look for where should we post it. So thank goodness. It is all because of all of you. God is great indeed. So but yes, welcome aboard this Royal News Live. We have so many stories to go through today. As you might have noticed, Catherine, Princess of Wales, is set to host a Christmas carol service on the 6th of December.
It's awesome.
Yes, so that is very,
Yeah.
very exciting, extremely exciting, isn't it? We really
Oh,
needed that.
yes. Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
6th of December. And we, of
She's back,
course,
isn't she?
she's back. She's back. We saw her for the Cenotaph Remembrance
Mm.
Sunday. She looked very emotional, and which is understandable. We know Catherine herself lost one of, I think, her grandparents who was in
Yes.
the World Wars. So it is a very, very emotional day every time she stands up there. But also for all the families and relatives that have lost their loved ones in those wars, our royals are always going to feel so, so, so emotional on the day. But yes, so it is going to be good to see her hosting this very, very sentimental event. It is hers. We hear that behind the scenes preparations are starting to take shape. Rehearsals, different choirs that will be singing on the night have started rehearsing. Invitations to organizations, charities, people who are making a difference in people's lives in the community have been sent invitations to be part of the celebration, this Christmas carol service. And I hope too my invitation hopefully will come through so I go to
Oh, you
Westminster
have to
Abbey.
let us know. Awesome, awesome. So we're going to have you on the ground.
Yes. Yeah. So that is really, really good. And I think many people have been looking for something like this. We know she didn't hold one last year, but she's doing one this year. And she did, the surprise piano appearance last time she
Oh, is there
played the
anything that
piano.
girl can't do?
Of
Honestly,
course.
she's
So
so gifted.
So we think she might do another little sweet treat surprise for us on the day. So we are looking very much forward to that. Mm. And so Catherine, Princess of Wales, is obviously going to be supported by other royals. We have been told Beatrice, we have Zara, we have Prince Edward's wife Sophie. These are all going to be playing a supportive role for Catherine on the day. So it's going to be very, very jam packed with royals that evening. I am intending to go to London that evening to bring this event live. So
Awesome.
hopefully the weather will be great for that Saturday.
Well,
Hopefully.
that's fantastic.
Yeah, yeah.
Honestly, I'm so excited to hear that, Francis.
I'll wait and see how the weather pans out before I confirm it. But I would
Mm.
really, really love to go and be there live and show you royals arriving and departing and just the mood outside Westminster Abbey for that evening of the Christmas Carol service. Hmm. So we've got the A team in the comments here. Have you said hello to them, Catherine? They've missed you so much.
Oh, hi, SB.
Yes,
Stedman.
Stedman,
Yeah.
good
Oh,
Chantel.
I know, Chantel.
Yes,
Paul's here too. Harry
yeah.
got a tattoo in his latest news,
Sheila
only it
Kelly,
wasn't a
good to
real
see you.
tattoo.
Yes. Sheila
Paul's
tattoo.
into it, straight up,
Yeah,
straight up.
yeah,
Sure, throws the javelin in.
yeah. So we've got Sheila Kelly. Where are you from, Sheila? Um, really, really happy to see that we are getting some uh, new guests on these live streams. Sheila, have we had Sheila before on the A team? I think she is one of our new ones that have found the live stream. Good to see you. Um, Chantel says Dan Wooton gave his statement to the court about Harry. Okay, and
Yes, yeah.
okay, did you get some of those details, Catherine?
I did.
I
I tuned into that this morning because he's already given a statement
mm,
previously, so he could be called up again in
mm,
relation to. Paul brings it up here about suing the son. I believe Harry again is just trying to upset the king. The
mm,
court has already spent a lot of time on Harry's spurious claims and it should be thrown out. I actually agree with you. I don't think anything will be found in those emails that Harry got a little bit of a win when the judge agreed to give him, release the emails between the palace and the Sun.
mm,
And so I think it was Christopher Geit was the Queen's private secretary at the time. And it's actually, I find this latest development with Harry quite sinister on his part because what is there going to be? This is not the hacking scandal. If it was a hacking scandal, we would expect to find some emails. But if you're briefing against the press, as he says all the each court does against the other, they're not going to
mm,
do it in an email. They'll do it in a private chat or something.
mm,
I can't see that there would be official directives being given to senior courtiers.
mm,
And so Christopher Guy was actually very, he was he was Harry was allocated to him, and he really looked over Harry, and he had a bit of a 10-year plan with Harry
mm,
to help him because he was so worried about George coming into the frame now, publicly speaking. And um, so Guy just uh, built him up, encouraged him, helped develop his confidence in the future. And
Mm.
now he could be before the court as well, Sir Guy. So, who is the Queen's former private secretary? And many say, and I think there's something to be said for it, that after Sir Guy left, he was pushed out by Charles and Andrew,
Mm.
that things haven't been as disciplined in Buckingham Palace as it used to be.
Mm.
So you could have Dan Wootton being called up again to speak to his previous statement to the court, and Sir Christopher Guy, the Queen's former private secretary. I mean, Harry, it's not enough that he's taken his father's government to
Mm.
court,
Mm.
but
Mm.
his grandmother's private secretary may have to appear. He wants
Mm.
private correspondence between courtiers and the king out in
Mm.
the public domain. It's
Mm.
a hunting expedition on the part of his legal team.
Mm.
But I think that Harry's really jumped the shark here, in my opinion, because the judges said, all right, well, we'll release them, but what are we
Mm.
going to find? I doubt there's going to be anything there. And Dan Wootton, he's champing at the bit. He's happy to go back to court. He's
Mm.
happy, and he hasn't changed his position on his earlier statement. He'll just speak to that and say nothing has changed. I stick by my earlier statement.
Mm. Mm.
But to have the possibility of the Queen Elizabeth, the late Queen's former private secretary, before the court, it's absolute outrage.
It is. It is. How do you? This is something I don't really, really. You know, I, I really, really feel bad that
Don't worry.
Prince Harry. Yes, I really, really feel bad that he actually is doing all of these things to his father's government. Prince Harry is. He shouldn't be taking these court cases forward. He shouldn't be. He's just continuing to humiliate his father. He's just making. 1 minute, I'm putting this up.
Okay.
Oh, I know. I'm getting this.
Oh,
This
is it
light
your
is playing.
lighting?
Yeah, it's my
Yeah.
lighting. It's playing up, but I'm trying to get it sorted.
But
Excuse me.
I just think while you're doing that, I just feel Harry is digging in his heels here because he believed when those press releases first came out, Harry is meeting with old chums to plot his return to the UK. And he was thrown back on his heels when the polls showed that the British did not want him back.
Hmm.
And I feel that's really taken the wind out of his sails in many ways because he has a fragile ego. Both of them
Hmm.
do, but we're speaking about Harry. And I feel he's digging in his heels because it's not just the public, but the royal family. We could see it at Remembrance Day. If there was ever any doubt that the royal family are not you moving as one, it was put to rest over the Remembrance Day weekend. They are moving forward, shoulder to shoulder. They're all in position, you know, and Prince William, whatever criticisms he's receiving from certain um, journalists or female writers, he's doing really well. In my opinion, he's for everything he has to deal with. For his brother to be behaving
Hmm.
like this it's a terrible thing. It's shocking. I said to my friend over the weekend, we were talking because he used to be, when the Queen was alive, he was a royalist, but not now. And, he went for a period there where he thought that Prince Charles was the Antichrist, but, you
Hmm.
know, I've just gently put that to rest in him. I said, no, I said, I believe in the Antichrist, but it isn't Charles. So
Hmm.
anyway, But we were talking, and because he got no respect for Harry at all, none
Mm,
at all, because of the way he spoke and treated his family. And I said to him, I said, yeah, but it's you think that the enemy is outside the camp, right? You think the enemy is outside the camp. You think that it's going to be the Republicans, it's going to be the new Labor government that wants to get rid of peerages and the Lords, House of Lords. You always think that the enemy is outside the camp. Jesus said, a man's enemies are those of his own household.
mm,
And I just feel this betrayal it's just not going away. It's
mm,
not
mm.
dying down. It heats up. Just when you think there's a calm out on the horizon there, it heats up again.
It
It's
hits up
really
again.
staggering.
It is, and this is the thing. People keep saying, "Oh, he's trying to get back into royal fold, or he's trying to uh, sort things out so he can come back and work for the royal family, or is he trying to reconcile with his father, to find ways of putting this rift to bed?" And I don't see that coming, because if
Mm,
you are going to be looking for ways of solving or sorting out these differences, these
mm,
projects would be one of those things you would be dealing up with, giving up. You would be picking up a whole different approach, dropping this idea that your father, is not granting you police security, so you're taking his government to court, and because that's what he's doing. He's fighting his father in these subtle ways. And these court cases are very draining. They are draining to the king, I would imagine. They are draining to the reputation of his reign, because people are then looking at King Charles's reign as a period of failure in trying to put all these differences to bed. So by dragging these court cases and these book sales, the hard copy, paperback copy went out recently. These are all projects that are just casting Prince Harry further away from the sort of person he thinks he wants to be in terms of healing this rift. So it is really, really a shame. And Dan Wotton there, of course, giving his
yes.
statements, he's one of those guys who really, really don't like Prince Harry, Meghan Markle. He speaks his heart about those two.
Oh, he pulls no punches at
And
all.
yes, he
And he's
has
broken a few
constantly.
stories. He's
Hmm,
broken a few stories that really upset the Harkles.
hmm, hmm.
But no, he doesn't pull his punches, Dan Wotton.
They don't like him. Meghan and Harry don't
Mm,
like Dan Wotton, because
mm,
he
mm.
has made it very clear right from the start that they are, Meghan and Harry are a bunch of whinging, people always whinging about that, always victimizing themselves and wanting things to be done their way. So as we speak right now, Prince Harry is in Canada. So he went there to launch this Invictus Games in a school. So he's giving out free tickets to school children to go and watch the opening ceremony of the Invictus Games, and because he's failed everywhere, so he has to go through school kids. How sad now, because he knows for him to publicize this event and for the event to be received well, he has to target certain people. He has to channel it through certain people, and he thought maybe children, because people sympathize with children. So he's selling the Invictus Games project through kids nowadays, and you know how it has lost popularity. The Invictus Games have really, really dropped in popularity. People are not very, very forthcoming with the support. And obviously, we've had stories that he's using these wounded soldiers for his own benefits. People don't see where that money that is being raised from those events, where it goes. Does it really help the soldiers? So the empty seats at these events are always very, very visible. And he had to find a way of filling up these seats. And what better way to do it for him than to go and just pull a bunch of school kids and bring them in and fill those empty seats that will be. Okay.
It feels a bit desperate to me, though, that move. It's because, like you just said, they're losing numbers, so
Yeah.
he has to go and recruit somewhere. It's like a politician looking for a new demographic,
Mm, mm,
and classic Sussex move, go to the kids.
mm,
And
mm,
I mean, I don't know. I think he's scratching for money, and he's lost senior staff in Invictus Games, so it just all starting to look quite chaotic. But
mm,
I felt um, like he looks well. He actually looks really, really well.
mm.
And, he's looking up the camera. He looks like his old happy chappy Harry, and he actually does. But I feel he's gone off to a spa recently. That's what he was doing when we're all wondering where he was.
Mm,
And
mm,
so he's gone off. People are obviously saying to him, "Oh, clean yourself up, just clean yourself up. No one will want you if you're going to go with your neck hair not shaven and the hair in your ears not
mm.
plucked, kind of, because he always looks so shabby. He always looks
Yes.
shabby. I don't mean casual, that's different.
Mm,
I mean shabby.
mm,
His hair's not groomed, the hair on the back of his neck. It just looks awful. So he's
mm,
gone and he's gone to a spa and he's had massages and facials and he's had his hair cut, all the rest of it, and he looks really good. He's probably had lots of green smoothies, but you're going to have to do more than that. I think what he's trying to do, apart from drum up business in the schools, I think he's trying to say to the royal family, look, here I am back, I'm back.
mm, mm, mm,
Because someone he loves would have said to him, you can't come back the way you are, you're a mess, you've got to clean your
mm,
act up. So
mm,
he's
mm,
trying to look like he's cleaned his act up, right?
mm,
But on the one hand, he looks good. This Invictus things to me looks very desperate and
mm,
chaotic.
mm.
And but on the other hand, you've got the sun, which is really serious. I actually think just when you thought that his court cases were going away, this, but then you've got this. So it doesn't. He can't think long term, and I think that was the problem that Sir Christopher Guite had with him, was he was working on a 10-year plan with Harry to help him look to the future, plan to the future, and I think it was during that time he joined the military, but looking at developing his future. But he
Mm.
doesn't think long term, Harry. He hasn't got the stamina to go the distance, except when it's driven by bitterness, rage, and resentment.
Mm, mm. He's not going to get back into people's good
No,
books,
no.
not anytime soon. I think he's already, like we always say, this he's made his bed, he's gonna lie in it.
Yep,
So he's
yep.
literally gonna be swimming around this sort of sizable fan base of his, and of course he's got his cheerleaders from the Sussex camp who are powering him, hey, hey. But
Mm,
the thing as well with him is that he has, okay, he, of course, they are trying to devise strategies because he thought Meghan Markle and the negativity controversy that Meghan Markle carried with herself were the ones stopping him from flying as high as he wanted, probably. So they
mm,
devise a different strategy. So he steps out alone. But I don't think it's going to have that huge impact. Okay,
No, no,
because he is where he's sitting at the minute. I don't think he can go any bigger than that.
no.
And a lot of it has to do with what he has already done with those projects, Spare, and him not sitting well with his brother. His relationship with his brother is where it is. We can't see that getting any better, not tomorrow and certainly not next year, because the rift is, for as long as it's still dragging his father's government to court for police security. Yeah, as long as he's still pushing forward the books he's selling, there is no way near to him getting back in good shape with the royal family, with his brother. No chance. So invitations were sent out for the Christmas gathering. Uh, he's not apparently invited. Them two have not yet been invited, and I doubt that they will be invited. Last year, they were sent an invitation, but they didn't honor it. And I think that invitation came because obviously we know the king still loves him as his son. So, but he gets to a point where you don't come now, he's not going to bother sending you invitations. So they won't be coming. But even if they were going to be coming, I don't think any members around the royal family would feel comfortable being around them
Well, they bring drama with them.
because of the drama and
Mm,
the lack of trust,
yeah.
clearly.
Mm.
Um, Princess Diana's family had invited them too for Christmas. Apparently, they will not be going to that one as well because, again, the British public, and it comes down to Meghan Markle feeling very guilty coming down here anymore. It's not to do with she just doesn't want to come, or she's. I think it has a lot to do with the guilt. How am I going to face the public after what I did?
You mean Meghan?
Meghan, yes. Okay,
Do
so
you think she suffers from guilt, Francis?
oh yes, yes, I highly think so, because especially as you remember the walk down at Windsor Castle with Catherine and the four of them walking at the Queen's funeral, and
Yes.
how she nearly wanted the ground to swallow her there. You saw how uncomfortable she was. I think that was the point she made her mind up that I will not be coming back. Okay, so I'm not welcome, clearly. And of course, it's to her own bringing. They brought all of that to themselves. But going back to Harry and how he's moving forward with his projects, these Invictus Games that would have by now caught fire, would have been huge around the world. I mean, huge. To see it crumble to how it is now, to a point where he's now going into schools to try and lure kids into coming to attend by giving them free tickets to come and attend the opening ceremony. And why would he actually be charging people to come and attend the opening ceremony? Why isn't this a free thing if it's if it's something that is for the good of everyone? Why is he really charging money for people to come and attend this event? Okay. And these tickets that he's giving to these kids to come and attend, these are young kids. Okay, come on, what are they?
Oh,
Okay. So
it
it's
really
far
is
fetched. This is
questionable.
far fetched publicity, and many
Mm.
people are saying that this is all because there's no one that is going to be attending that event, so they don't want cameras to show these empty seats everywhere, so they would rather cram. The
Pathetic.
whole, yeah, but it's not really good for Prince Harry, and I think he really needs to get to look at himself in the mirror and look for better approaches. First put aside all of those projects and focus solely on finding ways of getting back into his father's good books. It starts with dropping all those cases, and this issue of selling. Apparently, I don't know if you heard this, um, the paperback version of his spare. He was meant to hold interviews for to sort of market as a way of marketing the book, the paperback version. He was also supposed to appear on television, talking about it, but he didn't do that. And there have been sources saying that he said he didn't push it that much as a way of extending an olive branch to to his father. He didn't want to push it, so he's gonna publish, the paperback version, but he's not going to market it aggressively because he doesn't want it to sell in so many copies. And what a lot of
Well, it's chicken feed, isn't it? It's absolute chicken feed. He would have been better to have put out a press release, something to the effect of, I've decided against doing a media tour of the second edition of the book because I believe I need to. I don't know how I'm going to do it. I don't know how it will be received, but I need to go and repair my relationship with my father, his wife, and my brother and his wife. And that would have gone down, and everyone would have gone, oh, well, we'll see. Then he would have had everyone's attention. Everyone would have been waiting to hear what's next there. But, he cleans up. He looks fabulous, and he does. He does look like the old Harry.
Hmm.
Um, he's going about recruiting kids. It's like a cult member recruiting kids. It's like Jim Jones, and then on the other hand, oh, I didn't do any interviews because it's just don't think it'd be fair to my family. Oh, your damage is already done in the book, for crying out loud. And then on the other hand, he's got this court case with the Sun where the palace now have to release emails between the palace and the Sun.
Hmm.
He's sort of he speaks from both sides of his mouth.
Hmm.
But no one believes him. He doesn't have any conviction. There's no conviction in anything he says, except when it's bitterness, resentment, and jealousy. Then you see conviction, but there's no
Hmm.
conviction in anything else,
There is no, and this is what is actually making people say these days that their brand is now starting to diminish because they've run out of what to say. People were feeding off this victimhood of theirs and crying about this, saying this about their family, the royal family, and then people, these companies, media companies, were feeding off that, and they are paying because they want the juicy bits. But because that they've now run dry, they've got nothing else to say. They've now gone back to square one, and really they are struggling with content these days, as you can imagine. Meghan Markle is now only stepping out to go and attend her friends' parties. That's it. They are not holding any big interviews. They don't have any Netflix projects that are coming up because they can't offer the juicy bits that people want to. And not that people
there's
want
nothing there. Well,
this.
the royal
Yeah,
family have
yeah,
turned off. They've
yeah,
turned off the faucet, as they say.
yeah,
There's nothing. They've got
yeah.
nothing.
They've got
And I mean, it
nothing.
tells you how stupid they are.
Mm-hmm.
How stupid. They said she was the smartest person. She was smarter than any other royal. Oh, yeah, that's come out of her PR camp. But you know, it's so stupid. How long did you think you could live on that? The only cachet that they had was their connection to the royal family. I mean,
Mm,
you're not going to get any content now. That's all dried up.
mm,
It's
mm,
just how can you respect them? I mean, you know, I am. Um, I'm just a bit of a softie, but I've had moments of deep
mm.
empathy for Harry. But
Oh yes,
you know,
yes.
you
You know,
lose respect though. You've
you
got
lose, and you
yeah,
get to a point where you can't even feel sorry for them
no,
anymore.
no,
Before we go forward, I would like to appreciate our friends. The A team is back.
yeah.
Chantel is here. Look, we've got Lokiva. Chantel, thank you so much for the super thanks there. Thank you, Stedman, as well for the super thanks. This is the A team, you
So
know,
Lakiva, Megan
coming in.
is
Yes.
pretty
So
and
you got
young, looking
Lakiva
okay.
here.
I can't
Yes.
laugh anymore.
Mm,
Uh, Megan is pretty and young. Lakiva, who run the Megan? Who is this
okay.
Lakiva? I
Okay,
haven't met you
Laki.
before. Nice to meet you, Lakima. My stomach
Yeah.
is hurting right now. Hello from New Zealand, Heather.
Heather is here. Yeah, Joe Vickers, Lakiva. I don't know who Lakiva is. She probably new to this, but trying to establish the A team. Try and establish who Lakiva is, please. Go Heather from New Zealand.
Oh, I think
Uh,
she's a troll. Please
is
say
she?
something. I'll steal
Mm.
some money, give it to you like Charles and William do. Oh, Lakiva.
Oh.
Hi, Lakiva. Cheers, sweetie darling. Oh, I know it's really miserable in the corner sucking your thumb, isn't it? Yeah. Sorry, darling.
She a
Stay.
troll.
Stay.
Yeah, we should.
Just stay if you've got
The
nothing
A
else to
team,
do.
A team, try and establish who Lakiva is. You know,
Yes, she is. She's a
she's
troll.
yeah, she's a troll. Bless her.
Oh, bless your
Oh,
heart,
well,
darling.
she's trying to break into this wonderful A team here, but I don't think she will.
No, she's not succeeding. No,
Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't quite work like it used to, does it? But
Yeah.
I mean, she wants us to talk about Meghan, you know. Well,
Yeah.
there's nothing. What about Meghan? We saw her on the some carpet recently, you
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
the rollout of
Yeah.
some carpet,
Yeah.
you know, like
Yeah.
from Joyce Main or Harvey
Mm.
Norman here in Australia.
Yeah.
So she looked terrible. She looked so needy and insecure. She didn't look good
Mm.
at all. Whereas
Mm.
Harry's in Canada and he looks fabulous.
Well, I was reading the other day because they called it the professional separation. So they both go ways and, try and capture crowds from all angles. So she goes for business there so they don't miss out on the business that side. Harry goes this way and they try and balance things up. But the approach apparently isn't working because Meghan is not receiving the attention that she usually receives when she's out with Harry. So we don't know how far this professional separation is going to be. But it could also be that there's probably something that is brewing up behind the scenes,
Yeah,
with
yeah.
regards to their interests, their relationship, and maybe the fire is not there anymore. You know, I know that they turned up together recently for the what event they were attending. So I think was it the speech they gave for the Remembrance Sunday. But again,
Yes.
there have been arguments that could have been pre-recorded, and it
Oh, I
wasn't.
think it was. It was after Columbia, wasn't it? It was
Yes,
pre-recorded after
pre-recorded
Columbia,
after
but
Colombia.
outside their house.
Yes, outside their
Yeah,
house. Yes.
yeah, yeah.
So, and it's very difficult to believe in what they do because we know that the way Megan leads her things, there's a lot of acting in it, in them, and so it's very hard to actually to think that there is anything there that is still going on between them. So this this thing of them stepping out together that we see could as well be Meghan Markle acting, or both of them acting, that they are still in it when they are not in it anymore. So only time will tell, Catherine. Time will tell.
Well, I
Okay.
think they may have a diminished reputation, but there's still a lot of venom there. And um, if they can't release the venom directly
Mm.
and get the impact they want, they will do it through their proxies, or flying monkeys. When you say
Mm.
flying monkeys, they're flying monkeys like Narinda. And then we don't know where Tina Brown stands, but she changed her tune recently as well. So I do think they realise that the Papwalks are not going to do it with these big marquee royal events. So the only way they've still got, there's a lot of venom there, and that you can see it in Harry. There's a lot of venom. So if they can't do anything, it will be through venomous attacks on Catherine and William.
Mm. And so because William recently stepped out to
Yeah.
visit this university up in Belfast, Ulster, is it Ulster University? And he was applauded by students at the university. They lined
Yeah.
up in queues, taking selfies. He appeared via one of the students' TikTok accounts, apologizing for reaching late at this function, which is quite unusual for royals, but they call it, what is it? There is a way they call lateness within royals. Is a form of style or way of showing up in what is it? I'll
It's
drop it in
like a
the
bride
comments.
being it's like a bride being late
It
for you're
intentionally,
keeping
but
everyone
it's
wait. Yeah, yeah,
exactly, yeah,
yeah. You
yeah.
keep
So
everyone holding their breath, but particularly the groom.
yes,
Particularly, it's really designed at just
yes.
building the
Yeah,
anticipation. Yeah,
that's the word. Yeah, that
yeah,
anticipation. So, he was so engulfed by students, very happy. He's connecting with young people. And probably Harry thought, how can I take over this? How can I make my appearance more bigger than this? So he decides to hold his in a school setting as well. So you can see some form of competition going on there. My brother's done this. Oh, he's hit the headlines for this. What can I do? How am I gonna approach my next move? To supersede his. So he decides to go to a primary school because he knows, this is gonna pull people's emotions, and so I'll get the big headlines. But that is Harry for you. But it brings me back to this. We said earlier that no matter what they are going to be doing, no matter how good it will be, you know, people have since stopped seeing them the way they used to see them before. Okay,
yep. I agree with you.
so,
They've really lost a lot of reputational collateral.
mm,
It's really diminished.
big time, to a point that even um, some big author, members of, for example, the government or organizations that they go and visit, those people are not very forthcoming in appearing in, images, photographs with them, because they are scared of the reputation that they themselves will receive being seen photographed with them. So unlike William, he steps out, and you see the president of South Africa the other day, was there taking photographs. Prince Harry was in South Africa. We didn't see that. Okay, we didn't see that. So he's always going to visit these places, but he will now just be seen as the son of the king, but really not doing much there to entice them to a point where they will have the butterflies they used to have before he stopped, serving for the British family, royal family. And it is a shame, really, because as a former Queen's Guard, and how I used to see this young man, Prince Harry, and his potential, the potential he had to make a big difference, how he was connecting with people, especially young ones, his funny character, uh, and to see all of that now faded away already, and we have a completely different person that we are seeing now to the person he used to be back in the days. And you wonder, how he became this type of person he is today. And of course, many people could argue that, he walked away with Meghan Markle. This is all Meghan Markle's work. What Prince Harry has turned into is Meghan Markle's work. She's turned him into the sort of person who is now being looked at as a laughing stock. She made him say all of that about his family, and she sort of, what is the other word? Manipulated him. I don't know if that's the right word.
No, it
So
is.
many, so
Yeah.
many people would say whatever Prince Harry is now and how his reputation has gone this very bad is Meghan Markle's work. But I would like to say that Harry himself hasn't helped himself in any way, shape, or form, because he's an adult now, he's a grown up man. He still had all the right to say no to all of that. He still had the right to think twice before, all the projects has been going on. So we can't really sit down here and say he's been completely led onto this this path by Meghan Markle. I think he's also to blame for what he's turned out to be.
I agree with you. I
And
think his agency, he has his own agency, and he chose to go down this path. He wanted to prove something to his brother. He wanted to try and get the upper hand on his brother and show that he could do something better. Um, he married an older woman, a woman who claims to be multiracial, and now she's 47% Nigerian, and she looks more like an Italian or a Maltese. No one, when she comes out with claims that she won't provide proof for, she only diminishes her claims. So they lack credibility. So then what happens is no one believes anything. But Harry did this. Harry is the one, in my view. It's Harry. Meghan's, she's just an enabler. They say that Harry is, but they're codependent. They enable each other. But he just felt she was going to help him really stick it to his family and come out on top. And, was never going to happen because the royal family is a pecking order. It's been a pecking order since day one. It's going to go to its last breath, a pecking order. And that's the royal family. I um, revisited because I was traveling for so long, going up north. I brought this with me, Revenge, and I revisited John um,
okay, yeah,
um,
Tom Bauer.
Tom Bower's book,
Mm, mm,
and it's just a litany of their mistakes, Um, from the opening chapter. Now, they are a very litigious couple. No one has successfully sued Tom Bower. Um, Someone did try to. I think it was a guy, Virgin Branson,
mm,
tried to sue him. In the end, he said one of the worst things he ever wasted his time doing was trying to sue Tom Bower after Tom Bower came out with an unflattering biography. Well, the guy's barrister, and he's not going to put himself in legal jeopardy with his books. That's
mm,
why people read his books, right?
mm,
So, no, some of this material, because I skimmed through it first time, but I really applied myself and read it quite deeply. It is all like in the beginning, the royal family. Oh, that's Tina Brown's because I'm reading hers at the same time. That
Mm,
is all a litany of Meghan's failures. It's a
mm,
litany, and it was all there before Harry and her got married. So the
mm,
royal family knew what this was. They
mm,
MI5, MI6, they're the agent there, His Majesty's, at that time, Her Majesty's agencies. So they knew all that. They knew everything. They knew everything and more. They knew it
mm,
all. So,
mm.
what did Harry think he was doing? It was really, I think he was a landmine for years. He was a landmine in the royal family, and that's why the Queen appointed her private secretary, Sir Christopher Guite, to
Mm,
oversee Harry's development and
mm,
transition. You know,
mm.
Tina Brown, I still am shaking my head. She wants, oh, get over it, Prince William, right? What did she say here about Harry? Like,
She
she's
said
going,
Harry needs, yeah, did she
yeah,
say
go on.
Harry needs to put Prince William at, at, what is it? Uh, she needs, Harry needs to put Prince William at under pressure for
That's exactly it. He needs to hold his brother's feet to the
yeah,
fire.
yes, yeah, yeah.
Well, in her own book, she wrote about when Megxit was taking place, and she said every time there was a media crisis, she said what was happening was the Sussex camp were
Mm,
just reeling from one crisis to the next, right?
mm, mm,
Because the press started to question and they kept attacking the press. No, it's not us, it's racism, it's misogyny. And every time they did that, they responded and with more articles questioning Harry and Meghan, questioning their use of private flights when they were going on about carbon emissions and climate change. They would put articles in there with Catherine rather, but they would have, Kate, they still use her name Kate, but Catherine in a restyled 99 pound high street, and Megan would be at the same event in something costing £2,000 or £3,000. They did this, right? Because they wanted a cat fight between the two girls. But Tina Brown is saying this man, who she has not written in this book, The Palace Papers, she hasn't. This is her picture of Harry is not flattering. It's not
mm,
flattering at all. He would get into fights at school. He would often be on crutches. He
mm,
broke a leg, and in the end, students were avoiding him. And she says here that he would have been better in another time in history. He would have been more suited to another time in history as a swaggering, pistol carrying kind of brigadier, That's what she says about Harry. And then
mm,
she goes and writes this article and says, Harry is the only one. Harry is the only one. After all, she said, Harry can't help himself. His press team, everything that was coming out of their responses to the media was chaotic, right? And then she says, I read this morning. He had a broken leg at Eton when he was at Eton, and because he got in a fight with one of the students would avoid him. And they had all sorts of nicknames for him. But she said he was more suited to a much earlier time as a royal, where they carry pistols and swagger around and no one cares.
mm.
My God, this woman has lost the plot, writing on her Substack that Prince Harry is the only one that can hold William's feet to the fire.
I just couldn't believe she even wrote that. Do you know what she is? Just she's risking her own reputation now, because if she goes down that path, she is going to lose it all. Because I mean, she's a great writer. She's done well, to get to where she is, Tina Brown, if she starts playing such games, okay, and wanting to play by controversies because she thinks this is going to elevate her to the next level. I think she's getting it wrong because there is no way Harry can keep Prince William's feet on the ground. He failed already.
He
He
did
failed,
fail,
and that's
and it's all
why.
in here. It's all in. It's
Yes.
whole. Every chapter is a litany of mistakes, a litany of overreach, a litany of miscalculation. It's just an absolute. It is. I mean, I knew that when I read it the first time. The problem is I get really bored quickly with Harry and Meghan, right?
Mm,
So, but
mm,
this time after Tina Brown, I got Tina Brown to thank for this. I thought I'm going back. I'm not going to let this lie, with Tina
mm,
Brown. And
mm.
everything I've read, I've thought, you reckon that this guy is the only one who can hold his brother's feet to the fire? William doesn't have a death wish.
Harry cannot hold. He failed, and that's why we see him actually leaving. I think he left because himself, Harry, saw that his brother was on a whole new level, was way up there, understanding wise, thoughtfulness wise. His brother, of course, is the heir to the throne. He was having things done before, if he requests for stuff to be done, his will be done before Harry's because he's the next to the heir to the throne. So I think there was some bit of jealousness here between, him and his brother, and he had to leave. But there is no way he would hold William's feet on the ground because he had even failed before he left. He had failed on so many levels. So I think for Tina Brown there, I don't know what she was meaning by
I think she's
Harry
hurting
needs to,
herself. Yeah.
her reputation.
Yeah.
Mm.
Paul says much the same, Harry and Meghan. Um, oh, that's a different. They couldn't keep a secret in the UK. No, they can't. No. And Archie. I never understood
Yeah.
that. Archie. Oh, it's so stupid. But I had to go back. I had to go back, and I thought Tina Brown. But there are some people suggesting after she made those scathing comments about Meghan, everything she does is catastrophic misjudgment, and it turns to
Mm.
crap.
Mm.
Um, and William was besotted, not William, no way, he couldn't stand her. Harry was besotted, and he really believed everything she said, that we were going to leave and we were going to have the biggest brand ever. And
Mm. Mm.
um, for her to go back on her words,
Mm.
I think it's going to hurt her reputation.
It
And
is
some,
100%.
some people
Yeah.
believe that Camp Sussex actually got in touch with her, and that's why she's done an about turn.
Mm. Mm.
That they believe. Yeah,
This
yeah,
is going to harm her
yeah,
reputation. It has started going down. The backlash those
yeah.
comments received are huge, very, very huge.
Mm.
And really, at this point, if somebody's going to line up behind the Sussexes in any way, shape, or form, they are risking their own brands
Mm. Mm.
towering down. They are. Okay. Um, Look at what happened with this. Is it Omid Scooby? So he
Yes.
writes his book, Endgame. It didn't go far, really,
No,
did
it
it?
was
No.
total
It was.
fizz.
It
Just
didn't go
like
far. It didn't even make the top 10 or top 100.
it's like one
It
of those
didn't.
Christmas whistles
I
that you
guess.
blow, and it's got no
and,
blow in it. It just
yeah,
that's
and
what his
since
book was like.
exactly, and since he released that book, Omid Scooby has since vanished.
Yep.
Vanished. He's gone.
Mm.
Okay, so nobody really survives, you know, lining behind Meghan or Harry in any way, and you think their brands will stay. And that
Well,
is why.
go
Mm,
on. Yeah.
mm. and people who have mastered brand images, like the likes of David Beckham.
Yes.
Look what they are doing. They are distancing themselves away from the likes of Meghan, Harry. Back in the days, David Beckham was very good friends with Prince Harry. When they were still here. But now Beckham cannot risk his brand by showing support or even going to be near Prince Harry in any way, shape, or form. Not even inviting them to his son's wedding. I think there was a wedding the other day, and
Mm.
so Beckham invited William and Catherine across the United States, but he didn't invite Meghan and Harry, who were living a stone throw from him. So this is very telling of uh, how people are distancing themselves from these two controversial ex-royals simply because of the negativity, the controversies they carry with themselves. So when people like Tina Brown are showing a bit of that sympathy and putting out statements like Harry needs to come and keep William's feet on the ground, that is actually going to be very damaging to her going forward.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm.
Well, I don't know where I heard it, but someone did make the suggestion that Tina Brown would be perfect for a perfect publicist, or image to someone to help Meghan turn her image and reputation around. But I don't even think, because Tina Brown has a reputation for doing that with, you know, um, other entities that are not doing so well, and she turns them around, they become a big success. She's an incredible businesswoman. I mean, I admire her immensely.
Mm.
But someone did suggest that. I don't know where I heard that, but I thought, no, not even Tina Brown could help Meghan Markle, because Meghan Markle doesn't listen to anyone. She's been with other big agencies, Sunshine Sachs, and then the other group. I can't think of their name, but no, she doesn't listen to anyone. She listens to no one.
Mm.
And
Mm.
this is why she fails, because even when she was on the hustle and she was running the TIG, she was doing suits, and she was looking for opportunities to, amp up her status, but she still wouldn't listen to anyone. And she has a few people who've come out and said, that the minute she got a bit of extra stardust in her eyes, she'd start
Mm.
speaking to the staff like they were just pieces of crap under her shoe, So she's made a lot of enemies on the way up. And I
Mm.
don't think even Tina Brown could turn her around. I just don't.
Mm. 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 It's so hard, so difficult to
Mm,
even defend Meghan and Harry.
mm.
It's becoming too expensive to support them in any way, shape, or form. And I don't know if it is going to be, if somebody is going to really support these two, it has to come in a form of criticizing them in just like we do, because when we talk about them on these live streams and these videos, we are doing what they call constructive criticism. So we talk about them in terms of how they could have done better had they done otherwise. Okay. um when so someone in the comments here, I think that's Stedman, saying that people are always going to be jealous of Prince William, Prince Catherine, no matter
Yeah,
how.
that's
Okay,
not going to change. And that's the problem. But
so
then
it's,
William Morris,
yeah.
the other agency was William Morris. Um, yeah, and these are like heavy duty. These are really big hitters. They
Mm.
can turn around. They can turn around any reputation, but she just doesn't listen,
Mm.
And
Mm.
I think that, oh, I don't know, Tina Brown, Tina Brown, Tina Brown. I just wish
Okay.
she, I would just wish she hadn't done that because I'll tell you something. I really I like I like Tom Bower's writing. In fact, I'm going to look for some more of his books, maybe the one he wrote about Prince Charles, although I don't think that's a very flattering portrait. But he's such a like you really get into the world of his writing. It's so well done. But Tina Brown, it's gossipy. You know, it is. It's really the way she writes. I love her as a businesswoman. She's attractive. She's
Hmm.
widowed, you know, and she was widowed only, you know, in recent years. So there's a lot about her I really like. But this, what's happened is she's really so you can't have heroes. You just can't. You don't because they're human and, you know, they let you down. And she, you know, I really, really admired this woman, but boy, oh boy, she's taken a hit. It's gone from up there 100% down to 50%.
Yeah, yeah.
That's how low she's gone in my estimation now, you know.
It
Yeah,
hasn't helped her at all
yeah.
to make such comments. Really
And
not.
it's not
So,
because she's going into Camp Sussex,
hmm,
but it's because she's contradicting everything else she's ever written about Harry and
about Harry
Meghan.
and Meghan.
She's
Yes.
contradicting her own words, which
Hmm.
tells you she has another agenda. And
Hmm.
that's all I need to know. That's it.
Hmm. Hmm.
So, you know,
And
I'll be a lot more discerning with reading her books in future.
it's more like they've now seen how close Prince William and Catherine are to taking that throne, because they are
That's
now
what
very
it is.
close.
Yeah.
And so it's like this new wave of all of these people
Yeah.
trying to come in and spoil the party, and put us a step back and ruin you know the party for William and Kate. A lot of jealousy going on here, and I think was it Stateman said that somewhere there's a lot of jealousness going
Yeah.
on,
Yeah.
and the Sussex camp are going to do whatever it takes to, of course, jeopardize these operations of William and Kate. But they will not win. They won't. These
No, they
two,
can't. No, they
they
can't.
can't.
No.
William and Kate have established themselves as very, very trustworthy.
Yeah.
There's no question about that.
Yeah.
And they're very mature, how they do their things, how they step out. Their planning is great. They operate on high level of advice, professionalism here. So there's no way you're going to break down such a person. No chance. So what Tina Brown did there, was not going to endanger William in any way. It was always going to come back biting her.
I
Because
heard Angela
William goes,
Levin.
yeah, mm-hmm,
Well, Angela Levin, I don't know whether she was being diplomatic or not, but she just, I don't entirely agree with her. I actually don't.
mm,
And but she just believes that Tina Brown's out of touch. I actually don't believe that. I believe it's more sinister than that.
mm-hmm,
I believe it's a lot more than being out of because she's been living in the States for many years now. She hasn't, you know, she doesn't have as much to do with the UK as she once did. That's what Angela Levin thinks, and I don't agree with that. I think it's more sinister because not only did she shift her position, but it was straight after that Narendra Kaur thing.
mm-hmm,
It just
yeah,
came
yeah.
on the heels of
And
that.
she came on the
So it
hill,
was
yes,
Catherine and then
mm,
William.
William, yeah. So both of them were attacked. They
Yeah,
attacked both of them. But for her to actually turn now
yeah,
to misinterpret William's conversation, because William gave this speech in South Africa and said, I'm going to do things differently. I'm going to, she totally misread. She misunderstood William's speech. And for her to start saying maybe William is not appreciating what his father is doing, she's trying to play William against his father. These are
yes,
tricks. These
yeah,
She's being very cunning here to, but people are not falling for that,
No,
not
no,
at all.
no. No, they're
And it
not.
is a dangerous game to play William against his father in a way of showing, telling us that, oh, William, by saying that, it is simply saying his father hasn't done enough to. That was really, really bad, actually, looking at it. Because William adores his father. He really, really adores his father. He's been there for his father when Harry hasn't. Harry left. And his father has been struggling for years with his own illness and his mother, the Queen. So Harry, a son, would have been there to support his father, to hold back his projects, spare the interviews. But what has he done? He didn't. He just went on this spree. And William was there for his father. All of these plans, the programs the royal family are doing, the stepping out, the royal visits of William stepping out here with Catherine, Princess Anne going here, the king going here, all of these programs are drawn with William and the king himself. They are the ones who plan out these events. So you cannot turn around and tell me William is saying his father is not doing enough when William is part of this machine, palace machine that is running all these policies. Okay, so she really got it wrong there. And it brings us back to what you said earlier, that the Sussex camp is not going to be happy to see William, Catherine flying. And some of these writers, the Tina Browns, could have come across as royalists. But behind the scenes, these could have been
Yes.
people who have long-term supporters of the Sussexes, and they were just looking for a window of opportunity to start coming out, like they
Yes.
are doing now. But it's too late. They can't
Mm,
do anything because the
mm,
people,
mm,
the Sussexes, she's trying to paint a good image of, have since ruined their reputation beyond
mm,
repair.
mm, mm.
Okay, beyond
And
repair.
I think that's what's going to happen to Tina Brown because, look, the Queen's not there, okay? We still mourn her, and it was a golden period, two Elizabethan periods, really. It's quite remarkable. But the royal family have reach. She might be over in America, but the royal family have reach. And I believe there's one thing I will say and agree with Angela Levin is that Meghan still wants to be queen.
Mm, mm.
That's it. It's driven by envy and jealousy. She still wants to be queen.
But she
And
will never be queen.
no,
She will
it's
never,
not
because
possible.
it's not possible unless something bizarre happens, like what happened with Queen Elizabeth. But
Yeah,
even Queen Elizabeth was in there, was in that lineage. But Meghan Markle, no chance, no chance.
no, no,
She will never
no.
be queen. She can only dream of being one.
Yeah,
She
yeah,
had her opportunity. That is the closest she got to being, a queen, was being the Duchess of Sussex that she is now. And maybe getting the opportunity to stand on the other balcony
yeah,
near
yeah.
where the queen was always going to be standing. And I
I
don't think
wouldn't
she
mind being that close to the action. I would not want to be holding that premier position. If I was that close to the action, I'd be quite content.
yeah. People, but how can she expect to come in barely 6 months, 1 year into the royal fold, and she wants to get all of these things she's demanding for? Okay, she wants a big house, so the queen gives them Balmoral, not Balmoral, sorry, Frogmore. So after their wedding, the queen gives them Frogmore Cottage. Apparently, she wanted a bigger mansion, and Frogmore was a small place. And she went on Netflix with husband Harry and said, "Oh, look at the garden. We can't even stretch. That's how
Oh,
small the property
crying out
was."
loud. How
Yeah.
pathetic. A lot of
Okay.
pensioners have got like little
Yeah.
courtyards and
Yeah.
little patches, or they have a rented vegetable lot,
Exactly.
Oh
But
my
we
gosh,
have.
no one can relate to that.
But we have William and Catherine living in Adelaide Cottage, which is similar to, Frogmore Cottage. And these are the future king and queen. But they are very comfortable in this property where Harry and Meghan said they can't stretch. Okay. So that is really telling of a couple that were in it for something. They just wanted. And they thought when they leave the army, the royal family, they are going to monetize their brand and get lots and lots of money. And it doesn't work like that. To be fair, they were better off in than they are out of it. Okay, because
They
what we are seeing,
were.
yeah, because what we are seeing now is them being so under pressure to finance their expensive
Yeah.
operations. They are going to be losing hair very soon because the expenses, it's not as easy as they don't need that mansion, but they have to live in that mansion because they want to fit in LA, to fit in the society. Royals are not celebrities. Royals are not supposed to act like celebrities. Okay? So they don't need this big mansion. They don't need to have security with dogs and sniffers and, sirens run. Woo, Meghan and Harry are coming. They don't need all of that. But they have chosen to go that side because they were royals who were back in the days who thought, okay, they admired the celebrity life, going out there and owning big properties, mansions. They were not really genuinely interested in serving people because when you're in the royal family, you're going to be serving people without expecting anything in return. William, Catherine go out, so they step out, they do those international visits, they go abroad, and they don't get paid in any way, say, shape, or form. No, it's just pure service. And all of these properties, you hear the king, the queen is billionaire, they own properties. That money is for the crown to serve people. When King Charles is off that throne, that is passed on to the next in line. When the next in line is off the throne, it's passed on to the likes of George. That's not money that belongs to them as individuals. It's crown money. It's crown wealth to support communities, people. Okay. Meghan Markle, Prince Harry thought, they need to be, they need to own they're very angry and greedy for money, but see where that has taken them to
Oh,
sell their own
look at
family
them
through
now.
the books and the interviews, and it's become too costly for them that
Mm.
they can't actually they can't they can't be hosted anywhere without those mediums that have hosted them getting backlashes. So I read a story that was published on Daily Mail recently about Prince Harry in this school, giving free tickets to to these kids to go and attend the opening ceremony of Invictus Games. And there is no single positive comment,
No.
okay, on that feed. No single. I think there were about 68, 78 comments. None of those was positive. Everybody saying, "Oh, they can't. This is all pretense. There's a hidden agenda behind all of that. It's just self-serving." And
Yeah.
so clearly, things haven't gone the way they thought would be. They thought they would leave, they would come here, they would build a bigger brand, they would be admirable, and then they would conquer the world together. It's the opposite. they've gone to a point where they are now thinking of stepping out separately because being seen together is becoming too dangerous in some way in terms of the controversies that they both carry with them. So by stepping out together, they are limiting, it's too much controversy, and I can't even say much now.
Well, I mean, look at what you have got now, and if they had, if let's just reverse engineer this, if they had a different disposition, and they had put their heads down and worked, and she had read some history books and learnt about Britain, and would have been happy to go to the, church hall events and the school fetes, the less known events, not just the big marquee events. They would be Edward and Sophie now. Look at Edward and Sophie. They've been sent out because there's no Harry and Meghan. If it had been
Hmm.
Harry and Meghan, they would have been like in the stratosphere this year, because they were actually, the public really did welcome Meghan, the British public.
Hmm.
But if they could have, and that's what I think Harry is feeling. I think Harry feels, I should be there. I should be doing this, and he could see what it would have meant for his popularity. But
Hmm.
they didn't want to apply themselves. 5, 6 years later, that opportunity, what's happening is you've got Sophie and Edward, who are just so darn loyal. They're not the sexy couple like Harry and Meghan were, but they're so loyal, and they're very, very attractive.
Oh,
I have a
yes.
I have a bit of an Edward crush, and they're very attractive and they're very loyal. But that would have been Harry and Meghan. There wouldn't have been
Hmm.
as much need for Sophie
Hmm.
and Edward this year. But
Hmm.
look at them now. And it's only the beginning this year. It's
Hmm.
only the
Hmm.
beginning. So they've done that to them. It's almost like karma is put a mirror up in front of them and saying, "This is what it would have looked like. Only it would have been you."
Hmm. Hmm.
So
So sad. So it's a
it
sad
is sad.
story. It's another story. It's like it's a sad, another sad story. But we just can't wait to see William and Kate just get on that throne, because everybody is interested in seeing what things will look like for Harry
Yeah.
and Meghan when William sits on that throne. Because I think he is just going to put to bed these rumors of they will be coming back, they will be coming back, they could come back in the royal fold. I think when William takes over, he will just sort of get rid of all of that and say, Harry, Meghan, there's no way back in for you. The
No.
reason, yeah, he's just being a gentleman now. He's acting in the way he is doing because obviously his father has left that room there for Harry, and William really can't do much about that. All he has, because he can't collide with his father with this Prince Harry thing. But it's going to be interesting to see how things will pan out for them if William
Yes.
sits on that throne. We have
Yes.
all of these lose the royal title, take it off them, strip them off the royal family website. We have had all of these cries constantly. There is emotion in Parliament, for Prince Harry to be withdrawn off the royal title as maybe the line of succession. And Lady C put out a motion. Yeah, there was it. Lady C started a
Yeah.
petition of
Yeah.
Harry handing back those titles, something like
Put them in a
that.
put them in abeyance.
Abeyance, yes. So we've had those cries
Yeah.
out loudly, but nothing has happened so far. But we think all of these cries will be answered when probably William sits on that throne. Let's wait and
Yeah.
see.
Yeah. Yeah.
So anyway, we've had a wonderful evening, and our
Thank you,
friends here,
Francis.
The A team in the comments. Should we take a moment and recognize
Yes,
them? Yeah,
yes. They've all
it,
been very busy.
yeah, very busy. Paul Donman, was Paul there last time on our last
No, no,
live?
I
Paul,
don't
where
think
had
I,
you
yeah,
gone? Hope you've been
yeah. We
okay. Yeah.
miss you, yeah.
We miss you. Joe Vickers was also away. I think she missed that live. So it's good to see her, Joe. I hope, Joe, you're keeping well. We got rid of, what was her name? She was a troll, I
Hi,
think.
Espy.
Yeah. Hi, Aspie. Was it that troll? We got rid of the troll. I don't know how this live made it to her feeds. So hi Aspi. So Lido. Is it Lido? Lido is Lido from New Zealand, or are you here, Lido? Because
Not
I've
sure.
always wanted to ask. I think she's in Australia, Lido. Lido, we're here, Australia. Hi, Rosies. Good to see you, Rosies. So we've
See
got
you
the
on the
A team here.
replay, Soto.
Yeah, yeah. Soto is Soto in today as well.
She
Free
just
speech is here.
arrived.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, okay. Soto has just arrived. So you found this one right at the end. Good to see
Yeah,
you. Free
yeah,
speech is there. Free speech was here last time, I
yeah,
think. Yeah.
yeah.
So Stedman has been away for a bit. She's back in. Good to see you. It's
Well,
always great to
she
see.
runs a ranch. She
Oh,
runs
she
a
does.
ranch in
Yeah.
Texas. I mean,
Oh, she
that
does. Yeah. So she's.
girl, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm so jealous.
Yeah. And you know what? We worry when we don't see our A team here with us on those days we hold lives and we don't see them, because this has become a family where we also check in on our dear friends wherever they are. The world has now changed so much. There's a lot going on out there.
Mm,
And sometimes if you don't hear from a friend for a while, even if it's 2 days, there is a cause or for us to be worried. There is indeed. So these lives here help us to check in with you all, the likes of Stedman, Free Speech, Paul Donman, Joe Vickers, with who is Overcomer. So Overcomer, that's a new one there.
Mega
Overcomer.
Brass from Ohio. I've been to
Yeah,
Ohio. I
yeah.
really,
Okay, it's been
really
from
like Ohio. Yeah.
yeah, so we are very lucky, very, very lucky to have all of you here. And
Some of the comments are funny.
yeah, so Joe was asking, do you think Harry lives in Canada now? Where do you think he's living? Because there was this saying that Harry had vanished from United States for a while, and now he's seen in Canada. But of course, there has been this speculation of, okay, so if Trump fully takes over, he might revisit Prince Harry's visa situation. That visa under Joe Biden was sealed, and nobody really knew the outcome. And apparently, Donald Trump wasn't convinced with the way they handled it. So there is a saying that he might revisit that case. But he said, I think it was a spokesperson for Trump, who said that they've got a lot of things to sort out before they
Yeah,
come to
yeah,
Prince Harry's visa issue. So for now, Harry
yeah.
can chill out for a bit. But certainly, I know uh, the way Donald Trump adores the royal family and how he so adored Queen Elizabeth, and thought that Harry and Meghan had actually did really bad with their projects against the Queen, especially in those very, very fragile years of her
Mm.
last stay on Earth. There is always this feeling that Donald Trump will do something as a little payback thing, little revenge thing to Meghan and Harry. So they could be very skeptic, isn't it? After Trump gets in, Meghan and
I
Harry
th-
could see themselves,
I think
put
I
in a
think
little
he
corner.
Well, Canada actually makes more sense than Portugal because Canada's a Commonwealth country.
Yeah.
You
So
could be
so
in Canada. That actually is a good question.
mm. So you could be right. So you could be in Canada for some time
Mm,
as he reads the situation with
mm,
the
yeah,
Trump presidency. And you see, for the last year, they came out and I think campaigned. They were telling people to go and vote. They were very
yeah,
proactive. But
yeah,
this year, they were not actually. Uh, I think they had this feeling that Donald Trump was gonna win, so they didn't even come out to show who they were supporting, and because obviously they wouldn't support Donald Trump. He's always told them how he doesn't
yeah.
admire their activities. So Stedman could be right. He could be in Canada for the time being as
Well,
he reads the room.
well, Stedman has two sons in the army. I think she's got five children, and she
Mm,
had to help one of her sons move. Um, oh, she's from South Texas.
mm,
Um, yeah, it's hunting season for deer. She had to help her two sons relocate. Yeah, here. I had to help one move to Korea and the other one to Alaska. Yeah.
mm,
So,
mm.
I mean,
So she's been busy
yeah,
lately.
yeah, yeah. She said from South Texas, and it's hunting season in South Texas. So,
Mm,
yeah, it's Canada's actually because Portugal didn't quite make sense to me. Maybe as an investment, but not to move. But
mm.
Canada's just across the border, and he can
It's
read
across the
there.
border. Yeah,
While, as you say, he reads the
as
landscape
he
with
reads
the
the landscape
Trump
with
land.
Donald, yeah,
Yeah,
Donald presidency, and with
yeah,
Portugal, I think it has something to do with somewhere he can stay cheaply, um,
yes,
for projects he's got to do within the UK.
yeah,
So he comes to attend the World Child Awards, and well, he has a few of those projects he usually comes here for.
yeah,
And
yeah,
when he comes, obviously he's no longer staying in the royal residences, royal palaces. If
yeah.
he's to stay there, he has to put everything in writing. But
Mm,
but again, there is this question of, can he be trusted to live within these residencies? What could they do? What could
mm,
they not do? So
that's right.
so I think they had to find somewhere cheaper to stay
Mm,
closer
mm,
to United Kingdom, and
yeah,
Portugal then becomes one of the top places they could stay.
yeah,
So they could have got that property in Portugal to cut costs, hotel costs, and I know people were saying the other thing is to try and conquer Europe, because if they have a residence in Europe, then they can go to Sweden, can go to Denmark, and do businesses within Europe. But Europe is very solid with the royal family. They do support. Look at how the Danish treat Catherine and William each time they visit. Look at how Sweden treats. So I don't think Meghan and Harry can break through in Europe, where William and Kate have already conquered. Okay,
yeah. I
so it.
agree. I think good luck with trying to conquer Europe. That's my view. They're too
Thank
tight
God.
with the British royal family.
Exactly, yeah. So, but yes, our dear friends, we
Yeah.
are going to call it a night. Thank you so much for
Bye bye,
sticking
sweetie,
around with
darling.
us. Yes, thank you so much for the super thanks,
Thank
Stedman.
you.
Yeah, thank you, Chantel Martin. Thank you so much for that support. It goes a long way. And staying on these lives, till the very end
I
helps, of
know.
course, to boost these engagements and keep us going. So we really
Yeah.
appreciate, yes. Catherine, give us a little update on your channel. Are you posting? Should
Oh,
we
I've
expect
been,
something?
yeah,
Mm,
I'm taking your advice. I couldn't do it while I was away. I thought I might start because it does take a little bit of organizing.
mm,
Um, So I'm going to. Francis is always encouraging me to do FaceTime, because people want to know who's behind the scenes.
Mm.
And I suppose, it's just going to take a bit of discipline. So I'm going to start doing that this week, do maybe a series, and I'll get a couple in the can first and then put them up. I actually haven't let this Tina Brown thing go, as you can see, because I'm reading her book while I'm reading Tom Bowers. So it'll be addressing some things she said and then counterpointing that with what she's written previously and how she can intellectually or mentally marry those two
Mm.
concepts together. It doesn't make
Mm.
sense to me. So
Mm.
that's where I've just been quiet. I've been up the Northern Rivers the last 5 days, so I'm home now, thank goodness. I'm back in my own bed.
Back in your, yes, yeah. So you can now plan your
Yeah,
content
yeah,
going forward. We missed
yeah,
you, but it's
yeah,
so great to see you back. And
yeah,
thank you for
yeah,
the support, by the way, to your friend where you had visited.
yeah,
We
yeah,
rely on our loved ones these days to for strength. So thank you,
yeah.
Catherine.
No,
Mm.
it's really good. But I
Mm.
missed everyone. But I just was quiet. But thanks for everyone who still checked in. But
Everyone,
yeah, and
yes,
thanks
yes,
for
and
having me on your lives. Because you don't have
yes.
to. I mean, you're the one who
Oh,
invites me.
I
You
know, but
do.
you bring so
If you had
much.
enough, I would get it.
You bring
I'm
so much to these lives.
so
And our
thank
dear
you.
friends in our comments section here would agree that you are such a
Bye,
light every
Lido.
time you show up. Yes, yeah,
Thank
thank you.
you. No, thank
So
you.
so we will be sending out some Christmas cards. If
Bye,
you
free space.
yes, so I shared some address with you for the Christmas
Yes.
card. So I was told to
Yeah.
share that with you. And
Well,
if you,
going to send a little gift to a couple of people who've responded when I've asked them for an address.
yeah, yeah.
We've got a rail strike for 3 days in Sydney. So, because I had some merch produced and but I'll pick them up next week and I'll start sending a few gifts out. It's my compliments. They're just little gifts to say thank you for being such a fabulous group. And I'm going to send something to Francis too.
Yeah, oh, I can't wait. I'm so excited and so excited. And
So I got my
I've
own
got,
merch coming.
oh, yes, yes, I'll send you some Christmas cards to Catherine. And
Mm.
if our dear friends, the A team, please, if you share your, I think my
Yes,
Gmail is up there. Please share your address through the Gmail. Uh, that's the right one on the profile. So is it FK something at Gmail?
and it's at
Please.
Yahoo. Oh, is it
No, no,
Gmail?
it's a
You've got a
Gmail.
Gmail.
Yeah, I've got a
Oh, good,
Gmail one.
good, good.
Yes, yeah. So please
Yes,
share it at that because it's more safer.
yeah,
And then I will send you some Francis Page Media Christmas cards to show you appreciation for your support. Because really, we are here because of you all the
yeah,
time.
yeah. It's
Without you, we
true.
would be no
Yeah.
more. Yeah. So thank you, everybody. Thank you. Right, Catherine, should we
Okay,
call it
well,
a day?
yeah, it
Yeah.
is 10:01 on Wednesday morning, the 20th of November in Sydney, Australia. Hot
Yes.
as they say all out here in Australia, hot as bleep, bleep, bleep. It is
Black,
really
black
hot
here,
today. Yeah.
here, and here
So,
it's cold, extremely
yeah,
cold in the
it
UK.
would be.
So
Yeah.
yeah, so we've got our heating on, socks, thick socks, and and uh, the cost of heating is skyrocketed recently. But we just have
Yes.
to hang in there for the 2 months we've got of these cold winters.
Hi,
But
Paul.
keep warm, everyone. Our dear friends, Paul.
Yeah.
Keep warm. We love you so much, and we will look forward to seeing you on our next one soon. I think
Yes. Yeah.
Friday ish. We might get another one
Yes,
running. So
yes, we
yeah,
will because we got the quiet season coming up. So let's get all our gossip out now.
exactly. So from us here, dear
Okay.
friends, thank you
Bye bye,
so
Joe. Bye
much.
bye,
Bye bye,
Lido.
bye Joe,
G'day,
bye
mate.
everybody, bye bye, bye everyone.